Right, it is 3:45. I want to start on time to get us going. I know we might have some other people joining us shortly, and they'll just pop in as they can and hopefully get some out of it. And like I said, it's recording. The recording will be posted on YouTube and eventually put into our website also so that you can always reference it again. Because I'm going to be talking so fast, you may want to try to take some notes, but don't worry, I will also send a summary of those extensions I'm going to talk about, the websites I'm going to talk about. I'll send an email with that in to help you with that also, okay? So with that, obviously, welcome. It is our first of 4 Tuesday Tech Talks. We decided with my new position as the integration team lead, one of the things we wanted to do is be able to provide more PDs like this for you. And so we're giving it a shot. We've got 4 of them planned throughout the rest of the year, and this is our first one. This one's called Freshen Up for Virtual Week. So trying to give you some tips on how to make that next week with your kids after spring break maybe a little bit more fun, a little different, try something new. Don't have to try them all. You don't have to try any if you don't want to, but just want to give you some new ideas. And these might be even things you just use for your own sake, for fun. So we'll get going on that. And let me see. I got to exit out and get to my presentation part here. All right. So to start out with, we are going to be talking about several Google extensions or Chrome extensions that you can put onto your computer. And in order to do an extension, the first thing I want to remind you or explain to you if you haven't done and added your own extensions is you can go to the Chrome web store. And when you go there, I usually just do that, and then you can click on Chrome Web Store and it takes you right in. This is where you can search for any extension that I bring up today. If it's an extension, there are a few things I'm bringing up that are not extensions. They are websites you can go to. But the first one that I want to share with you is one called Custom Cursor. I don't know if you've ever used any of these for Chrome. And when I type it in, a list comes up. It only shows me 3 of them, and these are not the 3 that I found that I liked. So if you click more extensions, more will pop up. This is the one that I like. It's called Custom Cursor for Chrome. Once you find it, and you'll see it's got the pretty purple background there, you add it to Chrome. That's all you have to do, say add extension. And what it will do is up at the top of your screen, it looks like a little puzzle piece. That's what I call it, but it's your extension button. It will get added into here. If you notice, I have a lot of them. My list is long. Some of you may not have any at all or very few based on what you have as far as extensions go. My one that I just added is called Custom Cursor for Chrome. And if you notice, there's a little button for pinning. That is how you get them to show up here and stay up here. So many people don't realize that you can pin them and then they just are always up here for easy access with it. So every time I'm adding an extension that's something I think I'm going to use a lot, I would pin it there. So I just pinned it, as you can see. This is the little symbol. And when I put my mouse over it, you'll notice it tells me what it is. So I'm going to go here, and what the custom cursor does is changes your cursor to any of these fun things that you see here. There is a lot of them in it. I love this one. It just makes me smile. It's a smiley face. So as soon as I click on it, do you notice that my cursor has a smiley face on it? And when I go to where I can click, where it's typically the finger pointing, it also has a smiley face on it. But there's tons of other ones. I could do Tom and Jerry, for those of you who are older like me and remember what Tom and Jerry is all about, the cartoon. You notice it is, I believe that's Jerry, right? And then Tom shows up on the other one. So you can pick anything you want. Just a fun way that as you're doing things on the screen with your students during virtual week, it just gives them something different to look at than just your cursor going around, your arrow pointing. So just kind of a fun thing. I like to use it for myself just to make my day. There's animals you can pick. There's lots of different ones on that. So that is the custom cursor for Chrome. And then the next one that I want to introduce you to, I already have pinned up here. I'm not going to go and add all of these. I just want to show you that I do have it pinned up there. This one, when I hover over, it says Google Docs Quick Create. I don't know how many of you, every time you want to make a new document, a spreadsheet, a presentation, whatever, you have to remember you have to get into Google Docs and you have to pick the new one. Here's a shortcut. So when I put that extension in, I can just click on that little picture and I can choose my new document, new spreadsheet, new presentation, whichever I want, instead of having to go search for it. So I find that one to be a real big help, especially if you're doing a lot of docs or spreadsheets and that kind of stuff. You don't have to always go and pick a new one. So I opened up a new doc. With that one, I'm going to show you a third extension that I added, something called, I say GIF. Other people say GIF. I don't know if there's a right or wrong. It's like potato, potato. Which one is right? I call it a GIF, but you'll hear people call it GIF. So Giphy for Chrome. What a GIF is an animated picture. And so this extension allows me to just click on it, and then I can go in and say sunshine. One of the things I will warn you is this is obviously not kid-friendly all the time. So if you're going to do a GIF, you might want to set it up before the kids come in, or just be careful what you're searching. So say when the kids are going to come in the morning, I want to have something fun for them to see on my screen before we start the day. I can pick the sunshine, I grab them, I click on them, and he goes right into my document. And then I'm able to enlarge it. I can center it. I can do all kinds of fun things. But you could have this up in the morning with the kids. And you could always type something out underneath it like, good morning, students. You know, have a welcome for them. But it's got a fun little GIF. So it's called Giphy or Jiffy for Chrome. It's kind of a fun one to put up there. Another one that I've learned about is something called Emoji Keyboard. We all know about our emojis. We know that we have emojis out there that we can use. But there's an extension for the Emoji Keyboard. And I have it right here. It's the little heart symbol up here, but it's Emoji Keyboard for Chrome. So emojis for Chrome. And what I can do on here is I can search for any kind of emoji I want. And then I copy it and it stays in kind of like a saved area for me. So I was just playing around before because I was thinking, oh, I could say happy Wednesday and thinking that it's hump day. So I have this little camel symbol that I can copy. And then I can just go down and paste it down in here. On my page, I can increase the size of it as big as I want. You know, so you can have a cute little picture. Or if you're typing something for kids and you just want to have little symbols in there. So it's called Emoji Keyboard. And it's for Chrome. And a lot of times it helps if you know what the symbol is for it. So this one is a multicolored heart, because when you go searching for it in the extension, in the Chrome web store, sometimes it helps to see that picture and know what it is. All right, so just a couple of fun things there that might just brighten the kids' day, make it fun when they're coming in and getting ready for their meeting with you for the day. A couple other things I want to introduce to you. One of them is a couple brain breaks or starters that you might be able to use. So I'm going to bring up a new screen, and one of them is called Bad Calculators. I don't know if you've heard of this one, but for those of you who are teaching math, Bad Calculators, you can search for that. And it's, like I said, it's calculators with the S on the end. Make sure you do that. And what this one is it has different levels that you can do. You notice I've already played around with it a little bit. So I have a couple of yellow stars already. That means I did level 1. But level 2, what it is kind of getting kids thinking mathematically. So what you need to do is get the number 20 to become the number 19. And you can only use these 3 things to make it turn to 19. And their challenge is just to get it to 19, doesn't matter how many it takes, to be able to do it in 4 or less moves, or to actually do it in exactly 6 moves. So you have to kind of be thinking, and it's something you could put up and tell the kids, start thinking about, how can I change the number 20 to 19 with only using these? Because the kids are going to say, well, just subtract 1. Well, I can't subtract 1. I'm trying to think of how I could do it. Anybody got an idea? I'm just thinking if I go down, I go up to 25, I subtract that, I get to 9. I can add 5, and I can 5 again. And I made it to my target. So that counted, first of all, as accomplishing it. And second of all, I did it in less than 4 or less moves. Now the next challenge would be, can I do it in exactly 6 moves? We're not going to try that today, but it's a fun one that just to get the kids started at the beginning of class, something called bad calculators. Another one that might be fun, and not one that maybe you can do as a class, but you could introduce it to your kids as something to keep their minds going. If you finish early, they can try this on their own. It's called Quick Draw. I don't know if you've heard of this one. So Quick Draw is that you try to draw a picture and your computer tries to guess what you're drawing based on the picture that you create. So it's called Quick Draw. I tell it, let's draw. It tells me I'm supposed to draw a postcard in under 20 seconds. So I say, got it. If I had my volume up, you would be able to, oh, maybe you can hear it. So it's trying to guess what I'm doing. So let's see if I, and your computer will tell you when it knows what it is. Tractor. So I could make, 2 big tires. I don't know. Not a motorbike. So buy the little thing. So it could just be a fun, quick brain break for the kids, or you could do a couple and the kids can laugh at how you're drawing, just while you're waiting for them to check in. So those are a couple other ones that I've learned about. The next one I want to share with you, do you know about Random Name Picker? Random Name Picker is an easy one to help you get kids involved without waiting for them to raise their hand or add, trying to remember who you picked on last or not. So it's called, whoops, I went to the wrong one. Sorry. I want to make sure I get the right one. It's just supposed to be random. Let's see. And I think I have it. Oh, .net. There it is. So it's randomnamepicker.net. All right. And it has several options for you of what you can do with students' names. You can actually make a seating chart if you want. But the couple that I saw up here were pickers. This is the wheel as usual. So I can pick the wheel. And it comes up with pre-made names already, but you can change the name sets. You can go in and pick name sets, and then you just erase these names. And like I could put Annie, Mary, Genevieve, Jackie. So I know some of you. And Amy, I know you're there. And you can make the list as long as you want. Save it. And then you reset your names. And there are the names that I picked. And then if you want to spin, you just hit play and it spins for you and picks a student. All right, that's one of them. I can go back home. And the other one, if you've ever been in a casino, this one, it spins it and stops on a name. So kind of a fun one to have, and it would be one that you could bring up and have available anytime during class. And one of the things I'm going to bring up for you during presentation, like when you're doing a presentation, one of the things that, I don't know about you, but if I have tabs open, I sometimes accidentally click the X and I close off my tab, and that's not what I want. Are you aware that you can pin your tab? So if I point at my tab up at the top and I right click, there's a thing that says pin. What it will do is make a smaller tab, and if you notice, it no longer has the X for me to be able to close it. So it will be up there, and I can go to a different one and get back to it, but I'm not going to accidentally close it off in the middle and then have to go find it again. So it's kind of a fun thing. And then if you don't want it pinned anymore, you right-click again and you unpin it, and it'll give you your X back so you can close it. But if you pin it, it'll be there. And if you happen to leave your computer and close out, it comes back up for you and those kind of things. So kind of a fun little tip to try to keep yourself from losing a tab that you might want to use at some point. All right. The other thing that I'd like to show you, another extension that I discovered I think is a lot of fun, is this one right up here. It's a blue square with an arrow going across. It is called Tab Resize Split. When you click on it, it gives you the ability to change your screen from one screen to either 2 or 4. And so if I do the 2 by 2, I now have 4 screens that I can have up. Might be a game changer when you're trying to present to your students and you want to have multiple things up. Like you could have your spinner up here in one area, but then showing them something else in another. Okay, this one is 4, might be a little bit harder to see, but I can also change it and go to 2, and I can put them on top of each other or side by side. And then I can work in either one of these. I can leave something here and I can go to this one. Now you'll notice when I did that my spinner is missing out of here. But down at the bottom of my screen, when I go over the Google symbol, you'll notice my tabs are actually here. And I can bring that screen back up anytime. So when you do this tab resize, it keeps all those little tabs. So eventually you're like, whoa, why do I have all of them? But you can close out any one of them that you want, and so you don't have so many going on. And then if I want to, I can just bring this one up full screen again, go back to tab resize, and I can pick the 4 if I want again. So it might be something that you find helpful when you're trying to do several different things with your students. All right. This is going to help me lead into a couple that are a little more about engaging students in their learning. What was the lost tab one? Oh, the last tab, you mean where I pin it? I think somebody was asking about pinning these. So I just go over the tab, I right click, and I click on pin. That's making sure you don't lose a tab. Okay. This is more about how to engage your students in their learning. And I have a couple of those I'd like to share with you. One is an extension that you can add to your computer, and it works a lot like Kami. So it's another version of something similar to Kami, but it's called Insert Learning. Insert Learning. Before I go to that one, I'm going to look up, say for instance, you want to have your students read an article. So I want to do a Black History Month article for kids. And I find a National Geographic article that I want the kids to have or to work on. So I'm actually going to full size this one so that we can concentrate on it for a little bit. So this is an article from the Kids National Geographic. It's something that they can read through, but you want to get them engaged. You want to maybe highlight some things you want to make sure they notice. You want to ask some questions along the way. You want to insert maybe a sticky note for them. So this Insert Learning, once you have that extension, so Insert Learning extension, when I clicked on it, did you notice over here, it brought up a tab over here. And what it'll allow me to do is highlight text. So first of all, I can highlight. And if you notice, I've already played around with it a little bit. So I've highlighted some names. I don't, like I want to maybe make sure kids, every name that's highlighted is really important. Make sure as you're reading it, you write that down. I can add a sticky note anywhere I want. So I could go at a paragraph here and say, I want to mention something about that paragraph, something you might want to add about it. I had already added a sticky note right here for Martin Luther King. I should spell better. But maybe there are several special celebrations that happen, and I could tell them something here, and I have a Post-it note then. I can add a question, and you'll notice down here under this paragraph, I had clicked on the paragraph. So I clicked question and I picked on the paragraph, and this box popped up. And I can create my own question, or I can use a starter piece that they have. I'm just going to go up here for a minute and pick one where I didn't have a question. Here's what happens. Create a question. I can use a stem that they already have. List at least 2 supporting details, all kinds of things like that. Or I can write my own question, and then I create it, and it stays there for them to be able to answer. You can make it worth different point values. I don't know if any of you have ever used something like Pear Deck or any of those kind of things where you can ask questions along the way and keep kids engaged. So this is the question that I made earlier. What year was Barack Obama elected as president? So the kids would have to read and be able to figure that out and put an answer in. You can also do some discussion. There's a lot of other things on here that you can do. All right. One of the things, though, when I push those three little dots here is I can view this as a student. So I can see what it would look like if my students went in to read this article. There's the highlights. There's the place for the question that they have to answer. So they would then answer it, all those kind of things. I'm not going to get into all the details on it, but I will find a video to post on our website for you to learn a little bit more about how insert learning works. But you can then share this with your students. So then you would share a link for them to go to, and I can assign it to them. So I can assign this assignment to them. Notice there's a link to Google Classroom. So you can create this insert learning and then you can put it into the Google Classroom, or you can actually create classes that they join into right online. All right. Another one that I want to bring up for you is one called Wooclap. I don't know if you ever heard of Wooclap, but Wooclap works like Pear Deck. Some people have already used Pear Deck, but it's creating questions, different things for kids to do. So what I did, the free version only allows you to create 2 questions at a time per event. If you want more than that, you have to have a paid version of it. It's $6.99 a month for having, I think it's unlimited questions. There's a lot of things, but here's a sample of what I did. I went in and I created an event and I said, what's your favorite color? This one is, if you notice the little cloud symbol, it's a word cloud. So when the kids start putting in their favorite color, it'll create a word cloud for them that they will all see. Mentimeter might be another program that you've used before that this is kind of like. This one is what word in the saying means to figure out. And this one, what you would have when I go in, I can insert a picture and then I can mark a zone where the answer is. So the answer to this one is solve, but the kids don't see that. They would have to look at the picture and click in that area to get the answer right. So just a little tip of the iceberg on it. I just learned about this one myself, but I thought it was really a cool one that you could use. So then what you do is once you create your event, you can start it. You say start now, and the kids can go in just like you can with a Kahoot. They can join it, and then they have to put the answer in, and then it would show the results of that for everybody. All right. The last one I'd like to just throw out there for you. How many of you use Jamboard in Google Classroom? And you might like Jamboard, but Jamboard has some limits. I just recently learned about one called Whiteboard.Chat. And I don't know if you've seen this one, Whiteboard.Chat. It is very much like Jamboard, except it has a lot more options of what you can do. So I don't know how many of you use Jamboard, but if you look at this whiteboard, you will notice there's a lot of things that it can do for you. These are all kinds of tools over here. Again, there is a video explaining how to use this Whiteboard.Chat that I will put out there for you on the website if you're interested in learning more. But there's tons you can do here. Some of the fun, let it snow. How exciting is this? You can make your screen have snow come on it. I don't know if you can see it, but there's little blue snowflakes coming on it. And then there's changing your color of your writing. But along with coloring your writing, if you notice when I click on this little palette right here, I also have different items that I can bring up. This happens to be currency. So if I'm teaching money, I can bring up a dollar bill. I can bring up a coin so they can see that. But that's only one of many areas. If you're doing math, there's patterns. There's 3D shapes. When you're teaching geometry, there's also the alphabet. So I can have fun with the alphabet. So there's an L for the word lock, just a lot of different things that you can do there. It looks like there's even music notes for those of you who might be music teachers or teach music of some sort. Lots of different things, animals. So it looks like I can bring up a kangaroo. So I can show the kids what a kangaroo is. So Whiteboard.Chat, the video that I watched on it, the woman said, I've used Jamboard, it's good, but Whiteboard gives me so many more options. There are a few things you have to be careful. It can be glitchy, she said, sometimes during virtual learning. And so you just have to be careful with that one. But overall, the benefits of it seem to be worth the while. So right now I went for 20 minutes, actually 25 minutes on you, and I apologize for that. So I'm going to finish up. As I told you, I recorded this and I'll post it out on our YouTube channel if you need to listen again. I will also be, like I said, putting some things on the website and sending out an email to you, letting you know about that those are out there. I will put in an email out to you also with just those quick things like the names of all the extensions that I introduced, the websites, all that kind of stuff that I introduced today. And then just FYI, future, we are doing one on March 16th. I know that's I think that's during your virtual week. And this one is geared towards how to integrate technology with the younger students. One of the things that came out of our January 18th meeting was that a lot of our younger teachers of our younger students are saying, this is all great stuff, but I just don't know how to use it with our little ones. Can you please help us with that? So that one's going to be geared towards that. If you're interested, we'll try to get things in that possibly could work multi-level. So make sure that you come in and join us if you can. Otherwise, like I said, we'll post those also. So with that, I don't want to take up any more time of yours. You're welcome to leave. But if you have some questions for me, and I know the chat was going while I was talking, I will go through some of that and answer any questions that you have. So thank you for coming. I really appreciate you being here. We're going to keep on bringing these tech talks to you. And if you have any good ideas on what you like to learn, feel free to email me. And I would be happy to look into that for us. Okay. Can anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask? I see there was a question about the lost tab. Amy, did I get that for you if you're still here? Okay. Janet, you asked about the split screen?
Yes. How did you do that?
That is an extension that you add. So you would have to go to the web Chrome store and you would type in, it's called Tab Resize. Tab Resize. And then you add that extension, pin it to the top. And that's how that one, you're welcome. And Amy, that was what that one is called, is the Tab Resize for you. Anybody else? Any questions? I'm trying to look there.
Carrie, if you do the Tab Resize and you're doing split screen, so like on my, I have my computer and my smartboard already split screen. Does Tab Resize work if you do the split screen that way?
You know, I don't know the answer to that. You find that out and let us know, and I'll put it out to everybody. How's that? Right now, I also have two screens going. I have you guys on one. As you noticed, you probably saw me looking off to the side because I'm using my other screen. And I only had it up on there. I didn't try to bring it up on this one. So I'm not actually sure. But when I was looking at it, I know there's several other settings that you can do. I just have not played with those yet, Tina.
I was playing with it. I have 3 monitors here, and whichever, it looks like you can, because whichever screen that you want to split, look at the tab on that screen. And it'll split up that screen. So if you want to do it on your smartboard, then you would be on your smartboard in the tab and click on the split screen, and it'll do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else? Anything else? I'd be happy to help you out with any of that. But otherwise, please feel free to head on out, enjoy your evening. And like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm happy to, meet with you separately and try to go through something if you want a little more detail, but also watch for those video links. A lot of times you can just go out to YouTube and things like Whiteboard.Chat. You can put that into YouTube and you'll have probably 6 or 7 different people you can choose from that'll talk to you about it. You just have to find the person you like to listen to. There are some presenters that I love to listen to, and others I can't even stand them for more than 5 minutes. There's one really bubbly girl. She's fun for about 10 minutes, and then I have to turn her off because it's like, whoa, too much. And then you got those ones that you're like, oh, this is droning on. So, but I will definitely get some of those things posted on the website. You will get an email from tech services letting you know when we update that. I'll also get the recording out on YouTube, let you know that, all those kind of things. So anything else? Any questions? All right. Have a great evening. Look forward to seeing you hopefully in March. Thank you for coming.
I don't know if you saw it in the chat, Carrie, but my students love my Bitmoji classrooms. So that might be a fun topic.
That was one that we put up in our website, with all those. A lot of people I know gravitated to that. It's a cool thing. Thank you. Good idea.
Bye.
Have a good night, Amy. Bye.